Hello friends, today we are going to talk about China is a dirty place in the world. I find that I get a lot of satisfaction to make this type of talking video, and it's very challenging for me because I have to prepare a lot and I have to make my own opinion, but when I see that you like it and you make a lot of comments and we have a discussion, and then I really feel a great satisfaction from it. So today I'm going to make another one, and this one I would like to complain about the hygiene problems in China, those problems that I dislike the most. I love my country, but there are some bad habits that were developed long time ago, and it also takes time to improve, but hopefully when the society is getting better and people will get more civilized. Okay, so I have a list of those hygiene problems, and I really will complain a lot. And problem number one. Number one. People in China have the bad habit that they spit everywhere in public. They think that spit is healthy for the body. So whenever they need, they just spit, no matter where they are. Walking in the street or sitting in the driving bus, yes, they can do it. They just
in the metro.
Open the window and poo, and then their saliva will just fly everywhere. And don't ask me how do I know it, because, well, I have their saliva flying on my face many times, multiple times. And even during pandemic, people have to wear masks, they can still do it. They just open and poo and then put it on again. So it's no problem. It's no problem. It's just horrible. I really don't like it.
So the people spit around the world, yes. We can see it from time to time in Europe as well. Now we live in Poland and some people do it, yes. We call them like rather low-level people, but you say that in China people believe that it's actually healthy for them, yes?
Yeah, it's a bad fluid they have to spit out.
So they just remove the bad thing from their body, yes? Because they think that if they just swallow the spit, it will just make them unhealthy.
Yes.
The new generation is still doing this?
No.
Not so much.
Older people do it. Young people think it's disgusting.
Okay.
Not only they spit, but they also blow nose with their hands, no tissue with their hands, and hula hula, and then they shake it. Horrible.
So,
and also when they cough and they sneeze, they don't cover their mouth. It's also not nice.
in China, do people consider, because we've been together in China, I saw it many times, in the cities, yes? We're not talking about some villages, we're not talking some, places, abandoned places when there's nobody around, but in the center of busy cities, it happens all around. Yes, mostly with the older people, but it happens constantly. Now, do you think the Chinese people have awareness that there are other people around and they may not like it?
They don't care. Or maybe they don't just directly spit towards people, right? They just find a tree and then go to the tree. But there are plenty of people passing by.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And I also don't like people are so close to me when they talk to me. This is a moment that their saliva will spray on my face. And it's worse if I can smell the bad smell from their mouth. It's frequently happen. And it's horrible.
It is.
Right. Next thing. Chinese people will share food from a communal dish, and we just use our chopsticks to pick the thing we want to eat and bring it to our bowl. And some people are very picky, so they will stir the food upside down to pick the one they like. It's horrible. Like they use their own chopsticks with their own saliva and stir in the whole dish. How other people think about it?
So does it happen when there is a family dinner, or when there is a friends meeting or work meeting, going for a dinner.
Of course.
So the people who are not really related, they don't know very well each other, they still do it when they have a common meal, like a dinner in a restaurant, and there is a bowl with a dish in the middle of the table. They just use their private chopsticks to take the food.
Yeah. But I think people, if they eat with a stranger, they would do it less than with friends.
So they start to care a little bit.
Sometimes, hard to say. People are different.
They are indeed.
And my family always use common chopsticks, and we don't stir. And and it's a tradition that in China the host will put food on guest plates. It's polite to do so. It's okay. It's okay, but if he uses his own chopsticks, it's also a way to spread saliva.
Speaking about food, how is the hygiene of preparing food in China?
Preparing food, they don't wash the vegetable or meat, or they don't wash it properly. In university restaurant, I frequently eat things like hair, worms, plastic bags. Why? Can you imagine?
Do people wash hands in China frequently?
No, they don't. They don't wash their hand even after toilet. And don't even mention the chef don't wash their hand after toilet. It's even worse. A big scandal that I want to tell you in 2022. So the marinated cabbage, which are used in the instant noodle that everybody buys every day, was produced in very dirty places, a dirty big pit. They don't wash the cabbage, of course, and they put the cabbage in the pit directly, and the people can walk in the pit, walk on the cabbage with a shoe or without a shoe, and they can smoke on the cabbage and throw their cigarette directly on the cabbage, and it's horrible condition. And imagine that people eat cabbage later with their instant noodle. So it was a huge scandal.
The food quality is generally quite a challenge in China, and counterfeited food and the low quality of production, or actually no quality, this is subject for never-ending discussion. And the examples of what happens in China with the food are generally worse than people can imagine at all, actually.
People will be seriously sick or they will die.
Yeah,
the more serious problem, like we have fake meat, fake alcohol, the one who produced by industrial alcohol, and we have fake medicine, fake milk powder, and fake medicine and fake
vaccine.
Fake vaccine. So this is not tolerable. And we have also gutter oil. And also in the restaurant, they cannot clean the dishes properly. The problem is that you don't know how they clean it and where they clean it. You can never trust that.
How common is it? Because the things we're talking about, they can happen in Europe too. But I would say they're not terribly common. Not anymore. I think that the big difference is that in China it's actually very common still.
It's horrible. So that's why my family, since years, we decided if we go out to eat in a restaurant, we always bring our own tableware.
Wait.
Yes.
Chopsticks?
Yeah,
plates.
Chopstick and plastic plates, a bowl with us. Yes, that's true. We have to. Otherwise, we cannot trust other people. Even we have to use other people's dishes, and we use the boiled water to detergent it before. Those restaurant chopsticks, they don't change for years, many years. So the chopstick, if they are made of wood, then it's horrible and it's easy to be rotten. There are a lot of bacteria will get into the gaps.
Yeah.
And molded, and it's horrible, and they don't change it.
Okay.
Next problem. Some years ago, when the paper money is still popular and people use a lot of paper money, and They like to wet their finger with their saliva and to count the money. It's horrible. Huh? This is money. Everybody touch it. Everybody touch it. Which is just horrible. Well, I know that people like to use their bottom mouths to open the plastic bag, but it's okay because you take the bag home and you don't disturb other people.
Yeah, money is one of the dirtiest things in general in public.
Yes. Next problem is people throw rubbish everywhere. The dustbin are always overflowing. And if there is no rubbish bin, they just throw rubbish on the roadside. If there is one rubbish there lying, and people will throw other rubbish to accumulate the rubbish dump there.
Yeah, I mean...
Although now you don't see too many rubbish in the main road in the big cities because they hire a lot of cleaners to clean it all the time.
Yeah, this is what I've noticed when I've been in China. That there's incredible amount of cleaning personnel on the street. Like a lot of people just constantly going and wiping the streets where there's nobody there. At the same time, maybe because of this, I think Chinese people think that they can throw the rubbish anywhere, wherever they want, because there's always somebody cleaning it, right? I don't know if they even think about it, or they don't think at all.
If ever we think about, well, if we don't throw the rubbish, then what the cleaner will do.
Okay. So it's taking care about these poor people who have to...
I don't believe that everybody thinks so, okay? And then also when people eat in a restaurant and they have some rubbish and bones like they want to throw and they just spit it on the table or on the floor directly, and after they finish they don't clean it and they just left. Do you think that the owner of the restaurant will take care of it?
Oh my god. Okay.
Right. Next problem is when people pee and shit in public places. So frequently it's in a corner of the road, in underground passages and under overpasses. So I'm very afraid to go through these places.
Now I think important question is how often it happens, how common it is.
I don't know how common, but it's always stinky. You can smell the pee.
Sure, because still, I mean, some people do it around the world. Now we live in Poland. I know people do it in Poland sometimes, yes. Now the question really is how often it is, because I think the big difference people don't imagine is that the common bad habits in China are much more often, and that creates a bigger problem. Now, if we go through the city for a walk, we may see a one person or not. If we go for a walk in the China, we may see a few more people. Actually, it will be more common. And the children. I think with the children, it's...
Yeah, children have more freedom.
I think that people understand that children can do whatever they want, wherever they want. Yes, the small children, yes.
Yeah, they think that people will not blame or criticize children, so parents allow children to be everywhere.
Yeah.
And in Shanghai's tradition habit that men can just pee in the street. I saw it with my own eyes, and people just pee towards the wall, and in a very busy, older residential street. So many people passing by, he doesn't care. He just pee there.
Right.
It's Shanghai.
So it's Shanghai tradition.
The oldest district,
Okay.
and people have this, older Shanghai local people.
Maybe they don't have toilets at home in all their buildings, do they?
There are. And there are some public toilets around that they don't care to look for them. Yeah. Okay, we talk about people. Now we can talk about a dog. You can find dog shit in the street, so when you walk, you have to be very careful.
Are the dogs in China on the streets even?
People will walk their dog every day.
Okay.
The thing is that, I once live in a big building. In each floor there are many apartments, so somebody kept a dog as a pet, and one dog liked to pee in front of my door. And I open the door, I just see Yellow River in front of.
Inside the building.
Yeah, inside the building. He liked it. And then I cleaned the place and with the detergent fluid and the dog like start to pee in front of the neighbor's door. Wonderful.
Okay.
And the owner
Didn't
don't
care.
teach the dog. Yeah. Okay, in the end we can talk about the problem that the controversial problem that about many people don't care too much, don't pay attention about their personal hygiene, so you will notice that people stink. When I was in school, behind me there's a boy, and he liked to stretch his legs, so his feet were just next to me, and his feet stink too much at me and my friends sit next to me. We cannot stand it, and we have to use a napkin to cover our mouth and nose in class. It's just horrible.
Have you
and
ever-
he liked to wag the feet, which spread the smell even more.
Have you ever told him about this problem?
No, we think it will be offensive, so we just.
Is it possible that this boy, this guy, he was not completely aware how big problem it is? Maybe,
I think he's aware. I think maybe his roommate told him so.
Oh, finally.
But he doesn't wash his shoes.
Yeah, I mean, the personal hygiene problem happens around the world.
But you know what? Yeah, Chinese people think foreigners stink.
Really?
Yeah, we think foreigners
Which
stink.
foreigners
They-
stink the most in China?
Which foreigner?
Is there a difference, like foreigner from Europe, foreigner from United States, foreigner from Africa, foreigner from India? Which foreigner stinks
All
the
of
most?
them, all of them. First of all, they sweat a lot, and then eat a lot of onion. Onion, no.
Chinese people eat onion too.
Western people eat much more onion than Chinese
Oh,
people.
okay.
So they smell stronger. That's why they invented perfume to cover their stinky smell, right? Many things that I really don't like in China.
Is it better in Europe?
Europe, I see a lot of dog shit.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It's still kind of many people are not aware. There are more dogs in Poland who live in Poland, yes. And in Europe in general, there are much more dogs than in China. And people, when they don't have a house with a garden, they have to take a dog for a walk. And although there is a public awareness that people should clean after the dog, but really not everybody does it. So this is like your personal view, what really annoys you
That's true.
in daily Chinese hygiene habits.
I'm really afraid of walking in the crowd of people.
Yeah.
Especially during pandemic, how I walk. If there is a person, I will walk like this. Like, I just go around here.
Yeah.
So this is a reason why I'm afraid of people. Okay, so what opinion do you have? You see similar phenomena around you?
Yeah, this will be interesting. I think that's the point. Like, people notice similar kind of bad things around the world. I think the difference is in the scale of the problem. But yeah, people can comment.
Okay, so okay. Now you can write us your comment and please give us a like and subscribe.
Yeah.
Okay. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Okay, bye bye.